This is an incredible picture of Dar Robinson jumping off from the CN Tower. And now, this was at the time was like the tallest building in the world. And he basically free falled a good share of this building. And we used a device that I designed along with Dar Robinson. We worked together, but I actually built it. Right now, I believe there's some stadium that's below here now, but those are the train tracks. Anyways, this is one tall building, that's all I can tell you. You can see over here the shape of it, a round building. And he actually, when he was falling, he actually started getting pulled in towards the building. And one of the problems we had with the equipment that we had up on top of the roof, once he jumped, if the wind started pulling him in, you wouldn't be able to see him. And we were dropping off balloons with water, and they would start getting sucked into this because the building is actually a vortex. And as the wind goes up this building, it speeds up. So we had to come up with a way of stopping him safely and not getting banged up against the building. So we came up with an idea of this piece of equipment right here that we built up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a device that actually it's a device. We built the descender, the accelerator, and different devices for stopping the Dar from jumping. But we call this one the decelerator. But when it was originally built, it had a camshaft inside of this, and we would set it up so the last 100 feet, as it was free falling, this cam would come into action, push this lever up against the brake cylinder and stop him. But because of the problems with the building itself and the shape, we decided to put hand-operated brakes on this. And at the time when we did the stunt, we had Gary Benz. He laid over the side of the building and watched as he jumped, and if the cable started pulling in, he would just scream out, "Kai!" Well, when he jumped, I heard Dar was just screaming bloody murder. Just, oh man, it was pretty frightening. And here you got your best friend hanging on this cable, falling, screaming bloody murder, and all of a sudden Gary says, "Kai!" I grab a hold of these brakes and I start pulling on these brakes real slow, and all of a sudden I says, "Do you see him?" He says, "No, he's underneath the building." Then he swung out, and all of a sudden I heard this curdling scream. He says, "Kai, don't drop me now!" And there's a few other words in there, by the way. And so now I'm just easing off on the brakes a little bit, letting them squeak off, and we finally got them to the ground. And it was an incredible segment that we did for the White. That was actually on an ABC primetime show, and then later on they used it, and that's incredible. But this piece of equipment's now on display in the Milwaukee Museum here, Harley Davidson Milwaukee Museum. But eventually it will be back in Minnesota again. But I'm very proud of this piece of equipment. I'm really blessed to not only have Dar Robinson as a very dear friend of mine for a number of years, but to be able to work with him. He's an absolute stunt legend. It's just unbelievable. The other thing, the many, many things he was able to do and perform. He was just an incredible human being.